Welcome, everyone, to the inaugural P.Switch Podcast. Yay!
Yay!
I'm your forever host, the inexcusable Brian Dunn, accompanied by two people who I hope will be frequent guests to the show. First, he sold all of the toasters he won on Smash TV to open up a game store. It's John Minar.
Yes. Hello.
And my other guest...
Minar.
Yeah, Minar. He's the adopted son of the chef from Burger Time and Panic Restaurant. It's AJ Lanigan.
Yo, what it do?
But even they didn't want him.
No, I got
It's alright.
abandoned at a very young age. Luckily, the Burger King found me and he raised me for 11 years.
That Wendy, though.
Yeah. And folks, we're here today to give you an introduction to us. The only way we know how. It's our personal top 15 games because some of us could not do top 10s.
And by some of us, we mean John, who refused to take it from 15 to 10.
Technically, I've got 16.
Yeah.
Technically, you're not allowed to look yet.
I don't want to look.
Yeah, technically I've got 6, because I can't narrow it down any farther.
Yeah. All right.
Bullshit
And,
technicalities.
It's not bullshit, it's true.
yeah. We know that other people are going to have lists and they're going to say, well, why isn't this game on your list? Congratulations. You've been acknowledged.
We don't care.
And we're moving on.
We don't care about your list. This is our personal top 15 favorites, and they're going to differ
No,
wildly.
that's not true. We want to know your top 15, but don't try and be like, oh, my top 15 is better than your top 15.
Yeah.
We are better than you.
Post your top 15
That's
down
cool.
in the comments below.
But if you're going to be a hater,
Yeah, I mean, if we find something in the list, we will not make a follow-up video.
if you're going to be like, oh, Ocarina of Time's the greatest game of all time, you can just, no.
Well, that's just downright wrong.
you filthy scrubs.
Yeah.
Without further ado, let's kick this whole thing off. Who wants to start? Let's start with John.
Do we just want to do one game at a time?
Yeah,
or?
one game at a time.
Well, here's my question: did you guys order these from 1 to 15, or did you? Are they just
I
randomly
ordered
on
mine.
You
I
ordered?
did
See,
not.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
I ordered
My
mine.
top 2 are actually my top 2, but after that, it's just a Mod Podge mess. I can't say
Yeah.
this is my 4th favorite
Yeah,
game.
I'm kind of the same.
I'm totally okay with that. Just
So
I mean, if you want to go in order, that's cool, but mine are not.
I have an order. I'm
Yeah,
an
'cause
orderly person.
You've been working on this for like 2 weeks.
I have been. I have been excited.
well, I am too. There's nothing wrong with that.
Some of us just finished this like Saturday.
Yeah.
Friday. Wait, no.
For Friday.
Yesterday was
Saturday
Saturday.
night. Yeah, Saturday
Today's
night.
Sunday.
Well, I'll start. I'll say my first one, and I don't think it's a big shock to anyone in present company. Obviously, my number 1 and number 2 on my list are interchangeable.
Whoa. Why would you start with number 1?
Yeah, we're bottom up.
Okay, then okay, let's start at the bottom up.
Don't give away the goods.
Number 15 on my list is Wario Land 3 for the Game Boy.
Oh!
Or Game Boy Color, to be more precise.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that Mario Land 3 Wario Land?
Well, it's Wario Land 3 is
No,
what
it's
it is.
Wario.
It's actually
Is it
Wario Land 3.
3?
Yeah, it's Wario Land 3. I had that game... I don't even know who had that game, because I didn't own any video games until I was 18, but I used to play the living shit out of that game. And I loved it to death. And about 3 years ago, I went on a quest to find it again. And it took me about 6 months and about 100 different game stores. And I'm serious, it was a quest to find that stupid-ass game, because I refused to buy offline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had that as someone I knew. I think it might have been my cousin or someone had that as a kid. And I sat there and I played that thing for hours and hours and hours and hours. And the game's actually not that good.
No.
I like
Remember,
it.
can you die in that game?
Yes, you can die.
There's a Wario Land game I know you cannot die in. I can't think of what it's called.
I don't know the answer to that. But Wario Land 3 for the Game Boy Color is number 15 on my list. And that actually probably is my 15th favorite game. I will say that one is in order.
I love it. It has good memories, but it's shit.
It is. It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. As far as Game Boy games go, are there a lot of good Game Boy games?
No.
I would argue absolutely not.
But Pokemon.
No, don't even. That's another podcast. Don't get me started on Pokemon. But as far as Game Boy games go, it's not the worst.
I like that game, actually. That was like, I just played it for the first time like 2 years ago.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah. That's like the first Wario Land I've really actually gotten into.
It's a good one. So
I played it at the hospital. I played that shit for hours.
there's nothing wrong with that. Who's next?
I think I'll be last. AJ, you're up.
Oh,
Of course.
Ooh.
The host thinks he gets to go last.
I'm the most important person.
Hey,
Hey,
the show.
did we name this podcast? Is
It's P.Switch Podcast.
Oh, it's John's podcast. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's John's.
John's podcast.
John's
starring
podcast.
Sponsored by John.
It's the John Minar Show. Sorry, John Minar.
Sponsored by John Cotton. Rock'em Sock'em.
with the Johnnets.
AJ, number 15.
So like I said, mine's not really in any order. But I guess I'll just pick what I would put at number 15, I guess, because everybody's going to hate me for it because it's a sports game. And that would be...
Hate you.
Huh?
I hate you.
Go
ahead.
I know you do. But deep down you love me. Madden 03 is my number 15. And I know...
What?
I know.
Madden? There's a Madden on your top 15?
There is.
That, to be fair, if you follow sports games at all, people usually say Madden 03 is about the time that they had everything done right, and they've just moved on from that game series and just cut shit left and right.
Well, no,
What system is that? PS2?
If I was picking a system to play it on, it would be GameCube, because that's what I had it on as a kid.
Oh,
But that was like...
copies.
I know. I was going to trade one in, but I told you I kept it. But yeah, so like it's a really fun sports game, and it's still back when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were decent, so I can play with them and still be competitive with my considerable Madden skills that aren't really there.
This
but
is
also,
all about team favoritism, and you
just-
make fun of me for playing
this
the
is
Raiders and Tecmo Bowl.
my favorite games.
Well, the Raiders and Tecmo Bowl's a different story.
Yeah, fuck Bo Jackson.
I mean, come on, dude.
That's not even fair.
That's ridiculous. I have never
Can I just
actually...
not like the Raiders because my uncle did?
No.
I still think it's bullshit that you didn't know Bo Jackson was on the
I
Raiders.
know. I think that's a lie.
Yeah.
I really think
Bullshit.
he's lying.
Okay, AJ, how many football games have we watched together?
It doesn't matter.
Listen, if
Everybody
you type
knows.
in football or Tecmo Bowl into YouTube, everyone
It's
is
on
playing with Bo
Family Guy.
Jackson. It's on Family Guy.
I don't watch Family Guy.
Oh, here he comes. Hold on.
All right, pause. No. John, you're shaking the table. I'm gonna have to. All right, and we're back from a quick interruption.
I don't know where we were, but I will interject and say Madden is shit.
It is not shit.
Okay,
Madden 03, like I said, is Tampa Bay is good. Plus the soundtrack is really good.
See, I've never actually played a Madden game. I don't like sports games. I've played Madden. I've never played one I enjoyed.
Right, but see that one I put like so many hours into like the franchise mode.
I get it.
And like I was like buried because like it's 03, so like Michael Vick's like a rookie, so you can trade for him really easy. And like the next year he's a fucking beast, and you just wreck everything. For
So
the next 15
basically,
years.
taking advantage of that game is fun.
No,
Yeah, that's what I
it's
heard.
fun just playing it. But I really like the music and the franchise mode. And
I can't believe a sports title like Madden made it onto someone's list. Like, that shocks me. Like, I thought I was being all edgy with a Game Boy game. You know what I mean? Like, he brought out Madden.
Yeah, I've got some indie shit on mine, though.
All right, Brian.
All right,
Let's go.
so 15
Captain
for me, thank you, is a game that I put... Well, you know what? It's a 3DS game, so I'm kind of with John.
New gen.
Yeah, new gen, but still handheld.
House game.
I
by New Gen.
put, I think, 100 hours on this game, and that is Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Really?
Yeah, there is something cathartic about taking a giant hammer and just beating the ever-living hell out of dragons that are 4 times your size, mammoths, giant cats, weird monkey, elephant things. And then what do? You carve them up, wear their skin, and go hunt other versions of them.
It's.
I've never played one of those. I own 2 of them, and I've never played them because you guys you talked me
briefly.
into it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, get it. We can all play together." And then as soon as I got it,
I have
everybody stopped.
briefly played it, so I can't speak intelligently on it. It sounds way too much like Turok to me.
There is a learning curve, and if you've played one of the older ones, it doesn't teach you shit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound bad. I just know I don't have enough knowledge on it to even say anything.
I can bring one up sometime, and I can teach you like one of the more basic ones.
And
but
I don't know if I'd
it's
play it on
super
3DS, though. I don't want to play it on console.
They're getting a new one for PS4. It comes out in
yeah.
January.
Well, I'll
and
have to get that. I'll try
it looks
that.
super sick.
Yeah, I would try that, but yeah, I wouldn't want to. I don't like playing games like that on a handheld.
Yeah,
It's
the
tough.
camera is a bit rough at times, but
I tried to play Call of Duty. I think it was Black Ops 2 or something on my 3DS, and
my
my
God.
God, it took me 10 minutes to figure out how to look around. Like,
yeah.
it's terrible. All right,
But yeah,
so
last second shout out to the Zenogre because that's my favorite monster in the game. So.
okay.
All right, John.
Are we doing shout-outs to players?
We're doing shout-outs to players now.
Shout out
So-
to Michael Vick for scoring me all those touchdowns.
Shout out
Franchise
to
mode.
Wario. What up, yo? Number 14, and once again, this isn't in order. This would probably be higher up on my list, but I'm just going to read in the order I have it. I've got Aladdin for the Super Nintendo.
Why not Aladdin for the Genesis?
Because Genesis is garbage, and I knew this was going to happen, and you're just going to piss me off right away. We're 2 games into the list, and you're already pissing me off.
Oh, I'm going to have to edit this so much. It's great.
Son of a bitch.
Talks about editing, and then continues.
Aladdin for the Super Nintendo is one of the... it's top games for that platform for me, or that console anyways. And yeah, you can have the argument about the Genesis because you have a sword.
To be fair, I hate the Genesis version too.
It's garbage. Big deal, you have a sword. Who cares? You get to play as a boo for 30 seconds. Oh boy.
My cousin had it for Genesis, and so that's what I played it on.
Oh god. Yeah, the Super
I
Nintendo
have the Super
version.
Nintendo version.
And just a shout out to another great Disney game on Super Nintendo that didn't make my list, at least, was The Lion King.
Yeah.
That game was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You're one of the few people I know who likes that, because I know a lot of people say it's so hard.
It's incredibly hard. If you beat that game, you know how to game. I have. Little shout out to myself. I'm looking at the computer like there's a camera there for me to go, yeah.
Let me rub my back a little bit.
But, back to Aladdin. It's just a phenomenal game. The genie levels are just amazing. And as a kid, my cousin had that when I was growing up. Once again, I did not have video games till I was 18. But my cousin had it, and I will never forget going over there and playing that game, writing down all the codes for the different levels. And in fact, her kids, which are much younger than me, obviously, dug out her Super Nintendo and Aladdin and found all the codes, and they're playing it now.
Nice.
It's the same one I did. That game is a lot of my childhood, and I absolutely loved it. So
okay. That's the last time I will bring up Genesis.
That's not gonna... I will not vow for that, because I will fight for the Genesis.
it's garbage.
Because I had a Genesis before Super Nintendo.
Yeah, well, you tried to
all right. All right, AJ.
Anyways, my number 14 is a more recent game, and that's going to be South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Really?
I've been a South Park fan since, pretty much day one, and that game is just so good. Like, it's literally like playing a 10-hour-long South Park episode. Like, all the jokes, all the references, the gameplay is great, like, battling with farts. Like, I'm not even a big RPG guy, but, like, that game is great. Like, because, like, the communication's basically like a Facebook clone. So, like, you have people sending you messages and adding you as friends as you go throughout the town.
That's pretty cool.
And, like, all the little quests, like, you go, like, down in the sewer and find Mr. Hankey's kids because the wife's drunk off her ass, and it's just... Some of the missions in that game are just amazing.
See, this is interesting to me because you guys are naming games that I've never played. Like, I've never played a South Park game.
South Park Stick of Truth is the only one that Trey and Matt have actually worked on.
Yeah.
They licensed out everything for, like, Chef's Love Shack and all that
Which
junk.
I also love Chef's
Which
Love
I have played that, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
We should do that sometime.
That might be fun.
That.
Yeah. But... Yeah, that's the only one they've ever worked on. They wrote the whole script, and they actually had to cut out, I think, half of it. Because it was too long.
Right. Well, it's not even that long, though. You can beat that game in 10 hours, easy.
It's long for an Ubisoft game, but I will
DLC,
rant and rave about Ubisoft being shit.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Ubisoft.
I thought it was Ubisoft.
No.
Hey, you can do it either way.
Okay, it doesn't tomato.
They're a French company. Who cares?
Voulez-vous, mon chéri?
If you thought we were culturally sensitive,
You were mistaken. Brian?
Oh, for me, it's one of my first PS3 games. Literally, it was a bundle that I bought my PS3 with, and that's Infamous.
Okay.
Infamous.
I don't know why I thought you had the Metal Gear Solid bundle.
I know. That's
awesome.
the super expensive one that comes with the backwards compatible PS3.
I still want one of those.
I've got one now, but Infamous. You're basically Spider-Man with electricity. Like you walk, jump around cities, shock the shit out of people. The enemy design in that game is really cool. The story's actually decent. I mean, powers feel good. It's good response. It's just a good game. There's not a whole lot I can say about it.
Professional, John.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry, that was my phone.
That's all good.
That was my bad.
There's not a whole lot more I can really say about Infamous other than it's solid.
I've played it. It was a solid game.
Yeah, I didn't finish it, but I played it.
I don't think I finished it either, but it was a solid game.
Yeah, I liked what I played of it.
Maybe I'll go pick it up again.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we at?
We're at 13.
13.
Lucky number.
This should be higher up, but BioShock 2.
Really?
BioShock 2, and yeah, of course. BioShock 2 is just an absolutely phenomenal game. It's, I can't say much about it because it'll ruin the rest of my list.
Yeah, I've never played it, so don't spoil it.
It's good. It was their first, with the first BioShock, they didn't do anything online. With BioShock 2, they did an online play, and it was terrible. The campaign or the story mode, however, is actually pretty dang good. I'm not going to say too much more, but BioShock 2
is this a
good
spoiler alert that Infinite is on your list?
Yeah. We've already upset him once. We don't need to bring up Infinite.
Deep breathing. I swear to God, I am going to rip your throat out. Stop.
Yeah.
BioShock 2 is a very good game. It was a letdown for a lot of people, but for me, I thought it held up very well to the first one. I don't know. I love that series.
I'll say
with one exception.
I haven't gotten to do BioShock 2 yet. I just did BioShock 1 on stream.
Shameless plug.
Follow P.Switch Gaming on Twitch.
And also Rock
Shameless plug. Mountain Dew is delicious. We're trying to get sponsors.
If you don't chew
P.Switch Podcast, not sponsored by Mountain Dew. Do the do. But yeah, I played BioShock 1 recently, and I totally understand where you're coming from. It's legit one of the better storyline-driven shooters.
It's
and
phenomenal.
You just don't get that right now, especially. I don't know. I want to rag on EA right now because they're like, single player games are dead.
That's why I said EA is
cute.
Horrible. A friend of mine, and you might have to edit this out, a friend of mine sent me a picture, and it was right after the hurricanes, and it said all of Houston is playing BioShock right now.
I've seen that picture.
Which I don't know how inappropriate that is, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it depends on it depends on if you want it on your Facebook page.
I don't know. BioShock 2, though, that's definitely, I'd even say that's in my top 10 games. But where it fell on my lists just because I wasn't ordering them. Because I couldn't. The games I'm saying I love.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
AJ.
Alright, so my next one would also be higher on my list if I actually ranked them.
Dick.
I know. Whatever.
Only professional here.
Yeah.
Only professional.
I'm sorry I don't have as much free time as you.
I'm sorry I have a lazy job.
Anyways.
I mean, come on. You know what I do for a living.
My next one is Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. I love Yoshi's Island. I love the art style. I love the music. I love the crying baby. It reminds me so much of my great-grandma when we played at her house at all the family gatherings. She would be like, "Somebody shut that baby up!" just because she knows that's what's going on. Because my grandma was a big gamer. And it's awesome.
That is a good game. I will give you that.
Yoshi's Island.
The LSD levels are just...
You have totally redeemed yourself from Madden.
Yes.
That is a good game. Yeah. It would make my top 50.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, it's weird because I didn't play Super Mario World 2 until I had it on the Game Boy Advance, which I got as a random gift from, my uncle's girlfriend's kid. Because we went to Kentucky to spend Christmas with them. Right?
Okay. Uncle's girlfriend.
That whole right thing would have made more sense if you'd seen we have video.
Yeah.
But we don't this week.
Coming soon.
Coming soon, yes. Coming attractions. John, Brian, and AJ sitting in a booth.
Now, what we should do, honestly, when we're naming these off, though, is name what platform you played it on.
All right. For me, it was on GBA.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I actually just had one of the not-for-resales.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I just had a not-for-resale cart come in not too long
I know
ago.
who bought it, too, but I'm not going to name drop him.
Totally should have bought it.
That and I forget his name.
I'm trying to think who bought it, because I don't...
Think Stadium Events.
No, it was not.
It wasn't?
Wasn't it Chris?
What did I just say about name drop?
It was Chris. It doesn't matter. It was Chris that bought it. Yeah, it wasn't Kevin. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But that is a very good game, and I will give you props for picking that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go home and play it now.
Yeah.
Well, we could have streamed it today, but we ran out of time.
Yeah.
Well, we streamed for 4 hours. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. I know neither of you have played this game.
Well,
so I know
we'll just go to the other room.
Hey, you want to go make out?
It's
serious?
An indie game made by a group called, I think they're called Supergiant. I could honestly put this game on the list for music alone. The soundtrack for this game is just gorgeous. I want to own the vinyl for it, and it's on this great, brilliant, like, green record. It's called the game's Transistor. It's about this...
Never even heard of it.
It's about this woman who... her and her boyfriend, she's a lounge singer in, like, this weird futuristic world that's, like, very bohemian and kind of whatever. And are trying to be assassinated at one point. And he gets stabbed with this giant, oddly shaped sword, and she loses her voice during this whole scuffle. Like, she's a mute. But somehow, his whole mind is transferred into the sword, and he can talk through it. And sounds kind of goofy.
It sounds so stupid.
Oh, you break my
It
heart.
sounds like The Little Mermaid meets Moulin Rouge meets The Sword in the Stone or something.
It could honestly maybe be a little bit like that.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, but you slowly come to find out there's this big conspiracy that basically this giant corporation is wiping out most of the city to rebuild it in an image they prefer. Mm-hmm. And part of it started with her, and you meet all these dead people who you can take in and power up your sword because their like memories get downloaded into it.
I gotcha.
And literally, Spine of the World from that soundtrack is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's beautiful.
See, I'm not an indie game guy. I never will be. I just can't get into that. An interesting topic would be games with the best soundtracks.
I can do that all
Which
day.
you could. I couldn't because I don't really listen to game music that much.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like rock and roll racing. You know what I mean? That would be my entry into the podcast.
I really like Black Sabbath.
Okay, next up for me, a classic, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, we were just playing regular Punch-Out.
We're just playing regular Punch-Out. Now, I actually prefer the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out version over just regular Punch-Out. I know there's no real difference. But I love that game. I've loved it since I was a kid. Growing up, my dad did have a Nintendo, and that is one of the few games he had.
Yeah.
And I was terrible when I was a kid. I never beat Glass, or Mr. Joe Glass, or whatever his name is.
Glass Joe.
No, it's Joe Glass, you're right. Thank you for correcting me.
You're welcome.
That's what we're here for. It's what nerds do.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is just one of the classics.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, half the people that would listen to this will say, okay, yeah, I get that, because everyone has played that at some point or another, except for Brian.
I played it today.
He played it today.
I was proud of myself. I became like the IWGP Junior Light Heavyweight Champion.
Let me put it this way. I am a Nintendo fanboy, and I don't care.
Same.
Any Nintendo fanboy has played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and they understand why that game is so high on my list. Mm-hmm. So, that's it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about
No.
Punch-Out, really. It's good.
That damn tiger, dude. Go ahead.
So my next one's another weird one. I'm probably going to lose my
I'm
cred
ready.
that I just gained.
I guarantee it. You already said know it.
So, my next one is Rock Band for the Xbox. The original Rock Band. Because I was going to pick, I love rhythm games, and I was going to pick a Guitar Hero, and I was like, no, because I just love the whole band experience, playing with your friends and all that, and the soundtrack for Rock Band 1 is amazing, and, the one song that I can play on Super Speed and on Expert is Coheed and Cambria's Welcome Home, and I can 5-star that song.
Beautiful song.
Yeah.
I get it. I did play a lot of Guitar Hero back in the day.
Right.
But I have broken, fat, little stubby fingers that cannot do anything except easy mode. Okay,
I hate playing with people like you.
Yeah, I would too. I'm terrible. I get it. I still don't respect it.
That's fine.
I understand the pick, but I don't know the whole soundtrack for those games, and I mean,
the only thing that sucks about the soundtrack is that a lot of them are cover songs because, covered... they're, really, really close. They used original instruments to replicate, but...
Yeah.
They couldn't get
they couldn't get the rights. It wasn't until
What do you mean
Rock Band 2.
original instruments?
They used,
instead of, we were going to use a banjo for the guitar, but we'll use an actual guitar.
No, they went and got the models of guitar that they played to use to do it.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't believe it. Madden made the list.
Man in Rock Band.
Man.
AJ shaking shit up.
I am
why we need
literally
him.
like just shocked. Yeah, out of my. I'm scared of the rest of yours.
I don't even know you.
I do.
All right. Anyone who knows me knows I love fighting games. I'm terrible at them, but I love them. So, the series that I could have put Killer Instinct on here. I could have put Mortal Kombat 3. But none of them are as good as Tekken 3. Tekken 3 is just damn good.
I'll give you Tekken. I'm terrible at fighting games myself, and I don't play them.
I'm a button masher, so...
Dude, like, I'm a button masher, and I'm still horrible.
See, I'm a good button masher. We played Guilty Gear, and I whooped Brian's ass a lot.
You were Axel. Axel's hard to get in on.
My wife is a button masher. I have never beat anybody at any fighting game. Ever. I'm that bad.
Not even Kayla?
I can't even beat Kayla.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
And she's a rhythm game person.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't obviously know my wife, she's a rhythm person. She does not play other games. And I cannot beat her at a fighting game to save my life.
Yeah. Tekken 3.
Tekken 3, I understand, though.
But, I mean, it's just, out of the first 3 games, it brings everything together. And it gives me something that is, like, an odd connection to that game. It's spelled differently, but there's a character named Brian in it. I don't have anything like that in any other media. Like, any media that's video game-wise, there's not a lot of Brians.
Brian the dog and Family Guy.
Shut the hell up.
Brian Williams, the news anchor.
Also shut the hell up.
Brian Botano, the figure skater.
But what would he do?
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of Brian's. Liar.
Yeah, alright. But not only is it a fighting game, there's just like tons and tons and tons of extra modes, like Tekken Ball, and I think Tekken Bowling's in there too.
Oh, I don't know about that one, but okay.
Yeah, but there's something else if you don't want to just do traditional fighting game stuff and that. But yeah, Tekken 3, it's goddamn good.
Okay, alright, I get that. I don't think there's one fighting game on my list, so at least we got one out there.
Right.
My next one is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Oh, love it.
And if you don't agree with me, you're stupid. Anyone that's played it, there was a...
Wait, which console?
PS1. Shoot. Was it 1?
It's 1.
Yeah, it is 1. I was trying to think if I played it...
PS2 is Tony Hawk 3.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was PS1 that... anyone that's played... Even the first one was good, too.
Tony Hawk 3. And that almost made my cut.
Did it really? That's funny. Yeah, anyone that's played them...
We all have a Tony Hawk game on our list.
Really?
That didn't make the cut.
Oh, that
Tony Hawk does not make the cut.
1 and 2 I love. 2 I put on there. I have the fondest memories playing that with my other... I didn't have video games, once again, so I played with all my cousins.
Right.
Down in Columbus, whenever we go down there, we would play the living snot out of that game, and I'm not saying I'm good at it, because I'm not.
Right.
There's not being bad at Tony Hawk.
It's a nostalgia thing for me. I know, there is such a thing as being bad at Tony
Plus the
Hawk.
soundtrack is great.
And the soundtrack is
depends on which one you
phenomenal.
get, but man.
Well, I mean...
is 2 Superman and junk like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Now, once 1 could have made my list just as easily as 2, but I went with 2. And it's funny that 3 almost made your list, and apparently we've got one coming from
Spoiler
me.
I think I already know which Tony Hawk you've got, too.
Which is funny, because I owned 1 skateboard in my entire life. I stepped on it once, busted my ass, and I never got on it again. So it's funny that I enjoy that game, because most games that I considered a sports game, I hate.
I had it's good to reconcile with you, or not reconcile, what the fuck am I talking about?
No, reconcile sounds
Yeah,
Go
sure.
for it.
I had fat body skateboards that I would win from Nickel World all the time.
Nickel World. Oh God! Half the games are broken. The other ones are sticky.
But they had those free games. And, I mean,
They were terrible.
Hey, they had Street Fighter versus Marvel superheroes. That's an okay
It's like
game.
the Section 8 version of Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
that
true.
is very accurate.
It's just
Plus, they had Aerosmith, the one in Toledo.
Yeah,
was
Revolution
the
X.
Aerosmith game.
Oh, it's so bad.
But so good.
we should go there one day.
We do.
Oh, dude, I'm down.
Let's go right now.
It's horrible. All right,
Screw work in the
AJ.
morning.
Next, I have, I forgot what it was.
Oh God, it's gonna take forever.
Twisted Metal 2 for the PS1.
Okay.
I love the first, I love all the Twisted Metal games except for the PS3 one. But
Wait,
2
PS3
was-
one, the new one?
yeah.
Alright.
I mean, I haven't really played it that much, to be honest, so I can't really give a fair judgment.
But I hate it.
I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying I don't love it.
Man, if I could wipe my ass with that game or use my hand would be brown.
Like,
That's right.
All the way to black is fantastic. But Twisted Metal 2 is the one I picked because I love the destructible worlds. Paris blowing up the Eiffel Tower, Tokyo going through the buildings and all that. Mm-hmm. Plus, it has my favorite character in it, which is Mr. Slam. Mr. Slam, I don't think he comes back till Small Brawl, but like Mr. Slam was my dude, and so I played a lot of Twisted Metal 2 with my dad and my brother.
Everything game you've said so far has shocked me. I just like yours. I don't know why. I thought I pictured you as a different gamer.
My question is: Mr. Slam a slang porn name?
No, that is not. He is.
Why? Yes, it is.
It is not.
Ladies and gentlemen, are now be called Mr. Slam.
That's right. Come here, boy. I'm a buddy your bread.
All right, where were we? All right, here's time for a Wii game, which I'll get flack for. Oh yeah, see? No More Heroes.
John's already
Pseudo 51 games. I have this weird soft spot for because they're weird Japanese games. And here you go. The premise of the game: you are Johnny Knoxville with a lightsaber, trying to become the #1 assassin in this city.
I've never played this game, but oh my god, it sounds awful. You said,
and he goes Super Saiyan.
That is just the most ridiculous mix of things I've ever heard.
It's a Pseudo 51 game. That's how they go.
Let's take everything that was popular in 2005 and mash it into a game.
Hey, that game was... That might have been 2005. Huh. I'm trying to think when the Wii was around.
The Wii was about 2005, 2006.
But yeah, no, the main character is based on Johnny Knoxville. I don't know. I love that game. It's got terrible side missions. The other assassins
Why are we highlighting it? The terrible side missions.
Yeah, they're bad. They're not fun. You gotta like collect coconuts and give them to this guy.
How defeated he looked when he said, "I'm gonna throw a Wii game out there." Like, it was just the look of, "I know I'm horrible."
Just beat Tony Hawk 3. Just remember that.
Oh
yeah.
God, a Wii game.
But yeah, like
God,
it's super fun. I don't even give it.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done. You
John's
brought in
cutting you
Wii.
off.
Don't touch me, bad boy.
This is my number 10, and this probably would be higher as well. And the problem is I've got 2 games written down on the same slot, so I technically have a top 16.
Mm-hmm.
Because I decided that when I wrote these down, I was going to choose which one was going to make the list as I said it. So I'm going to go with Breath of the Wild. Okay, and I don't think there's that many people that will disagree with me that game is phenomenal. Yeah. Just absolutely. Now it's not revolutionary, and it does all these new things for gaming, like half the reviews say it doesn't. It was revolutionary for Nintendo. Mm-hmm. They have never done an open world game to that magnitude. And the game does get very repetitive, and it can be boring. But overall, I enjoyed the experience. I had 140 hours into it. I can't say I don't love a game that I have 140 hours playing. You know what I mean? And it was revolutionary for me because I haven't liked the Zelda since the first one until Breath of the Wild.
So was the other one the first Legend of Zelda?
No. The other game that was in that same slot was Mario Odyssey.
Oh.
And I just beat that like 2 days ago. And that game, once again, it's not revolutionary. It's nothing like that. But it is probably the best Mario game I've played. It is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fluid.
But Breath of the Wild, it's just there's so much to do. I mean, yeah, you can run through and beat the game in 4 hours if you want to.
I think the speed run record right now is 20 minutes.
And you can go straight to the end of the game, which is just ridiculous. If you do. Like the self-editing.
Nice catch.
It's just ridiculous if you do. But I had 140 hours in that game, and I just restarted it because I'm stupid and deleted my save file. Mm. So I'll probably play through it again. But I mean, it's worth playing. It's worth the pickup. Mine was on the Switch. Obviously, I never played the Wii U version. Mm. So
I have both, but I haven't opened the Wii U version yet.
Yeah, I liked the Switch version so much it was just stupid.
Mm. It's good. As you said, it's terrible. I'm gonna say it's solid, but I mean, so many open world games are just here's a giant world. What the hell's going on? Nothing. It's just barren. And over every mountain you climb, like through every lake you dive through, there is something everywhere in that game.
Exactly. And like when I say repetitive, you fight the same battle over and over and over and over. The bosses in that game, though, are incredibly fun, and they are difficult. It's a lot of puzzles, but the fights themselves are difficult. It just overall, I love that game, and I kind of want to go play it now.
Special shout out to the Thunder boss. That is an ass.
Yeah, they're all nice. Actually, I thought Calamity Ganon was the easiest.
I didn't have many issues with the water, whatever spirit thing.
I had a couple issues with all of them, but Calamity Ganon by far was the easiest.
Also, shout out to the Gerudo chick that used to be a Guardian, because Nintendo, that's a femme fatale character. Good job. Good on you. You don't do many of those. You did this one well.
And I cede the floor to AJ.
You're going to regret that.
I changed my mind. Let's talk more about Breath of the Wild. Now, the hit frames in that game. Go ahead.
So, my next game is on John's favorite console.
I'm going to kick your ass.
Genesis.
Oh, you bastard.
And that would be Sonic 2.
Oh.
God!
I know.
So, none of us have any... Okay. Should we just throw it out there that me and John just despise Sonic?
That's
Other
fine.
than Sonic Generations, I like that for some weird reason.
That's fine. But Sonic 2 was like one of the first games that I had as a kid. Because like I said, I had a Genesis first. And it wasn't by choice.
I know.
But, just the gameplay and that's really good. The 2-player, so I could play with my brother. The music in it, I listen to all the time. Like, it's like everybody loves Sonic 3's soundtrack because of Michael Jackson. But I love Sonic 2. And you all can hate all you want, but
this is something we've talked about. It's for me, I grew up with Nintendo. I love Nintendo. People that grew up with Sega love Sega.
And
now I have just
it.
it's nothing that I can do about it. I can't help myself, and it's not anything they did, but I hate Sega. So I apologize. I can't help
I don't
myself.
in particular hate Sega,
Hate them.
but I will never understand people who are like, "Oh, Sonic 2 is at least as good as Super Mario World." It's not.
No, I'm not even gonna.
No. Not even
No.
close.
I was going to say that band hammer's coming out right now.
I'll at least redeem
people-
myself a little bit, but
Sonic's, everyone tells me they're great. I bought an $80 edition of Sonic Mania because the people I know who don't like Sonic games liked Sonic Mania, and I played it, and I don't care. There's just something to Sonic's. I don't like them.
Sonic. And it's funny because I've got a 6-foot-tall costume of Sonic.
And you have a perler bead of him, which I can't believe it stayed here, and you have... You also have the big old Sonic Adventure
the
standee.
Dreamcast. That's a $200 piece of cardboard.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, there's just something about Sonic. I don't know if it's just because he's cheesy.
Because every Nintendo game isn't cheesy. Look at Mario. We were looking at him right now.
Yeah, look at him. He's adorable. Look at Sonic up there. He's like the guy who's 25 and buys beer for like 12-year-olds. Like, I'm the cool dad in town now.
I feel like he's the 12-year-old, but go ahead. You're right.
Yeah.
Sonic 2.
Go with your Sonic 2,
You're
please.
killing me.
that's
That's it?
you guys are just gonna shit on it.
You knew what this was.
I know that.
You knew what this was when you
So,
said
speaking of good games that John currently has that hasn't played yet, this is PS4 for me.
that.
and-
Like 5 of them.
Yeah, I gave you quite a few PS4 games to try out. But Doom 2016 is the fucking shit. I'm gonna have to bleep myself a ton for this game, but it is straight up badass.
Use your words.
Yeah, I know. Like, if you could
This
just
isn't
see
video.
if you
This
could
is
see
audio.
the raw me just taking it to the air right now.
Because that's all he takes it to.
You want to shit on Sonic? I can play it back. Doom. All right. What makes a good first-person game? Let's talk about good frame rate. Let's talk about gun feedback. Let's talk about the most metal soundtrack I've ever heard in a video game. Mick Gordon is a genius. Yeah, I will put it over Rock and Roll Racing.
No, I'm going to go Rock and Roll Racing.
All right.
Brutal Legend.
I'm trying to think.
I'll put it over Brutal
Have you
Legend.
heard Rock Band?
I hate you.
But there is... I'm just going to say, there's not a game that is more satisfying to kill something in. And that power trip you can get from certain games where you're just like, I am unstoppable. This is the perfect example of that. Literally, there's a berserker mode where he's like, to hell with guns, and starts one-shotting people with his fists. The chainsaw feedback in that game for your controller, it's... Every bit of that game is cathartic and got out so much stress for me over the years.
I think I need
been out for a
to
year.
come forward and say this, and I feel like I'm going to say this way too often tonight about things.
You've never played Doom?
No, I hate Doom.
Oh.
Oh, it's fine.
And it's probably back to the 50 copies for 32X I had to test. But in all honesty, owning a game store has made me hate games. Certain games, because of the mass quantity I have that I've had to play and test. Doom is one of them.
Well, I'm also talking about the 2010 or 2016 Doom rather than the 32X.
And I
Doom.
haven't played that, but I've played most of the Dooms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to the new one.
You mean the Switch one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of... Even though the
I have
frame rate
not-
on that's going to be terrible.
I have not
It's
played
30.
the new Doom, but I'm
30
gonna-
FPS.
30
I'm gonna
from...
get it on
Well,
the Switch.
here's the thing. They decided to let's draw in everything. As long as it is consistent at 30, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
If it dips in places, it's
I'm
not going to be
kind
good.
of looking forward to that because as far as I think of, it's going to be the first real shooter
Yeah.
on the Switch.
Yeah.
And I don't count Splatoon, so if you say it, I'll slap you. But Doom, Doom has left a bad taste in my mouth, and it's not fair. It isn't, and I know that. Same with the Maddens, it's not fair. I just hate them.
I don't need to. I don't need to dictate why I don't like Madden. Football is not a thing I enjoy.
I love football. I love playing football. Okay, here's one. Number 9 on my list is for the Wii U. And it's the Lego Marvel Avengers game. It is... and this is from a guy that doesn't like Lego games. It is awesome.
This is definitely a surprising pick.
Yeah, I know that. And this is one that most people wouldn't... Kayla bought it for me randomly. And I had nothing else. So I sat down and I played it, and it consumed me for a week. That game is phenomenal. The way you can switch between pretty much any character in that universe you can think of is phenomenal, as you unlock the characters, of course. Just absolutely phenomenal. And it's weird me saying like Wii U game's good.
No, there's some Wii U games I could put on there.
I don't like a lot of Wii U. I liked the console, don't get me wrong. I thought it was really interesting the way they did it, which was just a stepping stone for the Switch, which I love. Mm-hmm. But Lego Marvel Avengers is a phenomenal game. And if you want it, you can borrow it.
I think I have it.
You should play it.
I grew up
But the only
with
Lego
a
game I
comic
really
book
got
owner,
into was
so...
Undercover.
Hey, you know what? I heard the Harry Potter Lego games are really good.
I don't like Harry Potter, so you'd have to ask Holly.
Well,
Fight
it was
me.
fun having AJ on this podcast.
Fight me.
Get beat
Fight
up,
me.
Get beat up in the alley
hey,
after this.
that'll
guys.
get your post stabbed on Cancel Pursuit.
I'm not a fan of Lego games by any means, but this one really it captured my imagination. It was just fun to play, and this was recent, obviously. And
Yeah.
I don't give new games a try very often, so the fact that I liked that one was pretty impressive.
You should try Undercover.
Undercover,
Lego?
yeah. It's
It's like,
cheesy funny.
yeah. It's on the Switch. It's only like $20.
It's on Switch, it's on Wii U.
Is there a physical
Yeah,
copy
yeah,
or is it
physical.
downloads?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because I usually only buy physical copies of
I
games,
know. I'm the same way.
just because I can sell it later. So.
Alright, AJ.
So, my next one is one that Brian will not be surprised by at all. Because it is my...
Is it Stroker?
Fuck is Stroker?
Okay, well, don't worry about what Stroker
Let the
is
man
for now.
speak.
Right. Getting shit on this podcast. Anyways, it is WCW NWO Revenge for the N64.
This, I would have expected you to say for later still.
Right. I mean, if I was ranking them, it would definitely be like top 5.
Really,
because,
a wrestling game?
Dude, I mean, I've been a lifelong wrestling fan, and WCW was what I watched first, so it's very near and dear to my heart, especially that time period.
I get it.
But those N64 wrestling games, like all of them, are just amazing.
Yeah,
Maybe if you have a third hand, maybe.
I don't have issues with the N64 controller. I'm sorry, untalented.
With those games, I don't have issues with the N64 controller. I totally get it. I had Revenge growing up too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody likes to say that No Mercy is the pinnacle, but because that's the late WWF one that has like the ladder match and all that, but WCW Revenge is just amazing. The roster, you got the full WCW, NWO, you got Raven's Flock, you got the Japanese guys. Like, that game is just so
I
good.
always played as the Japanese guys.
I loved some of the Japanese guys, but I mean, like, some of them are just fake, which kind of sucks, because I got beat by that fake guy at MaxFest this year.
Yeah.
See, I never played wrestling games, and I have nothing against them, actually, believe it or not. This is one of the genres where I can say I don't hate it, I don't love it, I'm kind of
indifferent.
I was going to say, we just talked about it. Next time we go to a Ring of Honor show, you said you would go.
I will go with you. And I've never been to a wrestling. I mean,
You've seen it.
I've seen it on TV. I wrestled, not that type of wrestling, but I wrestled.
Right.
I got nothing against it. I mean, I still get pumped up every time I hear "I Am a Real American."
Yes.
That song, it gets my blood flowing.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the old stuff, like Andre the Giant type stuff, and I find myself watching old matches sometimes. I get into that weird area on YouTube where you don't know how you got there.
Oh, dude, all
Get
the
the
time.
WWE Network, man. $10.
Don't do it.
I'm not paying money for that.
Don't
you
pay
kidding
them
me?
any money.
I'll give you my account info.
All right.
Can I have your credit card number? You can say it now. He'll edit it.
Yeah, word.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I will try that Lego game, though. Go ahead, Brian.
All right. So, has a video game ever made either of you two cry?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not the only pussy here.
I'm trying to think if...
Oh, with Rage, right?
Yes, of course. With raging boners
No.
and...
That might be edited.
Okay,
That might be an edited portion.
I can't think of video games, just the fact, like, the movie The Fox and the Hound makes me cry every single time.
Yeah, that gets me
Bawled
too.
my eyes out during E.T.
Not E.T. E.T. doesn't do it for me.
Good Notebook.
Especially the
if
video
you're
game.
ever
Oh
heard-
my god, get out of here.
All right, go ahead. What made you cry?
Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
Pussy. What happened? Maybe you didn't hear me because I coughed. I said pussy.
Are you getting ill?
Yeah, I'm getting ill. People trying to walk in.
Yeah.
It's
But-
like 8 o'clock or something.
It's
almost
7. But it is a very interesting game that you have two people you play as on the same controller. It's this pair of brothers.
What system is this?
This is PS4 and
I was gonna
PS3.
say, it's pretty recent.
Okay.
There's no words in the game. There's no talking. It's a puzzle platformer.
That's a plus.
It really actually helps to this game's benefit because it's all show, don't tell.
I hate cutscenes. I hate...
The cutscenes in this are tiny, if only to show, like, hey, this is happening.
Okay.
But basically, these brothers, their dad has fallen ill. Their mom died saving the youngest brother from a river, like, during a storm. And they're off on a journey to this place to get their dad medicine. And to do something and not have words in it and tell a story is this odd, humongous feat that people just cannot do. I've looked at people talking about it and trying to do it, and it's insanely difficult. And this game pulls it off and pulls it together. It's amazing. And honestly, as I said, it's in storytelling. It's a simple story. I don't know. There's nothing bad I can say about this game, other than there is a small learning curve to learn how to control the brothers. Because, as I said,
What's the title again?
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
I am writing down some of these games to try because I've never heard of that.
Yeah, one because both brothers are controlling the same controller.
Well, that just
one's
sounds
the
awful.
left side and one's the right side.
That sounds awful.
It takes some getting used to, but after that, the rest of the game's great.
I have no dexterity in my hands. I've broken all my fingers too many times.
Here's the thing: there is nothing that involves it being extremely time sensitive.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, beautiful
I'll give you that
game.
one. I mean, men don't cry, but that's fine. Number 8 on my list is Call of Duty World at War for the 360.
But I get shit for a Sonic game and a Rock Band game.
Okay, you can say what you want.
World War II happened.
Call of Duty World at War, it was a Treyarch production. And this was at the height of Treyarch.
No, yeah, I know. Treyarch does make the best Call of Duty.
Yes, they do. Okay, and this was one of their best. Black Ops could have made the list for me, too.
Yeah.
But World at War changed the game. The obviously the campaign was phenomenal.
I was saying, World at War wasn't the first one they had kill streak bonuses, was it?
No.
No, that was
Big
4.
Red 1, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was 4.
Might have been 4.
I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. But
4 is my favorite.
the campaign obviously was good. The online play was phenomenal. That's the first time we met Nuketown. Which is everybody. I mean, they have made paintball courses now after Nuketown.
Yeah, Nuketown.
And it was our first
10 out of 10
introduction
map.
to zombies, which in itself is a completely separate game. They could release Call of Duty Zombies
every year,
and it would outsell the Call of Duty title for
Basically.
the most part.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we saw zombies, which I was absolutely addicted to. I played the living snot out of that.
Yeah.
And the downloadable stuff on it's pretty good, but that game, I liked every aspect of it. I still will play it to this day. When I have to test that game here at the store to make sure it's okay to put out, I test it for 3 hours. Which is terrible.
Sure.
I mean, and granted, now go back, try and get on the server. The whole thing's hacked. You can't really play online anymore.
Yeah.
Which sucks. It really does. But, and every 12-year-old in England's calling you names and telling you slept with their mom or something like that,
Teabagging.
You filthy tallywhacker.
It's horrible. I hate British kids. But
you hate children in general, it seems.
it's probably true. But yeah, Call of Duty World at War is a great shooter. And like I said, it was on 360 for me. I was an Xbox kid.
Yeah.
Not a kid, I was 18, but I was a grown-ass man. That's the one Call of Duty I think that probably will make anyone's list in here.
I would pick 4, but
I would probably say Modern Warfare for myself, too.
Modern Warfare was good. I actually preferred Modern Warfare 2.
I think Modern Warfare was
really
that's the one I played the most out of the recent ones.
I haven't enjoyed a Call of Duty since Black Ops, though, the first one.
Did you get World War II yet?
I haven't, but that one actually excites me.
Buy 2, get 1 free at Myers this week, bro.
I might, because that game,
you can buy us each a copy and we can play together.
Well, the look of it and everything I've read on it, they are actually trying to make a Call of Duty again, because the last couple games that came out, they were trying to be Halo or they were trying to be Battlefield. They were trying to be a different type of franchise. This one actually looks like a Call of Duty.
Right.
So I'm excited about it.
I miss Medal of Honor. That's one.
I do not.
Medal of Honor Rising Sun. Love that game.
Medal of Honor 2 is the one I loved.
Next game was Medal of Honor 2. Everyone heard it.
My next one is probably going to regain all of the credibility points that I've lost during this podcast.
Doubt it. Go ahead.
It's right in front of us.
Super Mario Brothers 3. All right.
If my stuff was in order, it would probably definitely be a top 5.
Does anybody else have that? Because if we have the same game, should we just say it?
No.
Well, I mean, my number 1 was probably. I know it's got to be on your list.
Okay.
I think we probably have about the same number 1.
Yeah, we probably all 3 have the same number 1.
Okay.
No, because he didn't get that.
Go ahead. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Super Mario Bros. 3, yep. Again, it's one I played at my great-grandma's all the time with my family. Oh, yeah.
But you can play that game over and over and over and never get sick of it.
Nope.
Yeah, and
if you had the Game Genie, you had all those sick cheats.
Dude, you don't even... And the thing is...
You don't need it, but it makes them...
That game can be challenging or it can be the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And it stands the test of time, man.
Oh, yeah.
You can put Super Mario Brothers 3 on a TV, and you can put any Call of Duty that's modern. Any modern game. And it's crazy that kids will be like, I don't want to try that. I want to do this. And
absolutely.
They always pick Mario Brothers 3 or Super Mario World or any of those.
I think
that is what Nintendo can do.
Would easily make 99% of people's top 10 list.
Yeah, it's almost.
Because that is everyone's childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's on mine. So when it comes back to me, I will just say Super Mario Brothers 3 and we'll pass it.
Right. Yeah.
But I played that. That was one of the few games my dad had. I mean, when I first found one of the whistles to warp, Oh my god.
Mind blowing.
Absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
Well, you find the secret, like this. You get the hammer, and you can crush the rocks to get over to all the little the mushroom houses and stuff. That game is so good.
It's deep for an NES game.
Yeah,
There's so much. I kind of want to go play it. I don't think I've ever owned a Wii or a Nintendo handheld console that I didn't download that on.
Well, yeah, because
it's everywhere.
Yeah, I love that game.
I mean, if you ever want to say if platforming was perfected for a 2D game, it was Super Mario Brothers 3. But it's not my favorite one of them, and that's why I don't think I have it on my top 10.
Right. I mean, it's not my favorite either, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's not my favorite.
It's probably,
Mario.
if I had to pick a favorite NES game, that's probably it.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really high up there.
Talk about the $5 NES game that people sell for $35. That is still almost worth it.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
the difference between rarity and wanting.
Don't open that can.
Yeah, no. I have that written down on the podcast list.
And since I own a store, I know the difference, and I know it well. I know how many copies of that game are out there.
Yeah.
And I know what it should be on the shelf for, but that has nothing to do with what people will pay for. I know stores that sell that for $50.
Which is crazy.
But they sell them all day long.
Yeah, and because it's that good. Super Mario Brothers 3 will forever be that good.
If you think about retro gaming, I mean, anybody that had a Nintendo had that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And 99% true. And everybody had that game. And that's a game that everybody that has ever played it, if they haven't played it for 20 years, they can pick it back up and play it again.
Mm-hmm.
And they will remember it. So, that's enough on Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's milk it.
Okay.
All right, is it me?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go on... Again, that's not going to be on either of your lists. And John's going to groan at me because I have it on my list.
It's probably another Wii game.
It is not. This is a Game Boy Color game. Oh,
I had one, so...
Yeah. You can't give me shit for being on a Game Boy.
Yeah.
But,
we'll see. I'm sure he'll find something.
it's because there is definitely this divergent era of Nintendo where people who love probably the Super Nintendo and back, and that's their Nintendo, hate this franchise. And it's the biggest franchise that Nintendo owns nowadays. And it's Pokemon.
Oh, God, you douche. You absolute... Go ahead.
You should have known when it was a Game Boy game, it was going to be Pokemon.
It's Pokemon Crystal.
Ugh.
It just expanded out what Pokemon could do, rebalanced it, and it's the one Pokemon game that I tried so hard to beat and couldn't. I could never beat Red because I was terrible at the game, and I trained one Pokemon. And my favorite Pokemon came from that game, giant blue alligator for alligator, and that's why it is. I'm gonna end it there quietly because John is
shaking
so
his head in sadness.
I can't believe you put a Pokemon game on your list. That's just...
that did pick it up. Cool, great.
It's like...
I've still never finished a full Pokemon game. I'm I'm on the final 4 of Fire Red, and I just have...
I've never played through one. Yeah. I won't. The whole premise... I don't even want to start this.
It doesn't hold my attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
John doesn't like RPGs.
Anyways.
I get it.
I don't.
Anyways.
Next on my list, and you can react all you want, but it's not the one you think, would be Super Mario Brothers 2. But... not the one we got.
You're talking Lost
I'm
Levels.
talking what everyone here would know
Alright.
as the Lost Levels, but it's the real Super Mario Brothers 2.
Really? You like that one that
Yes.
much?
I
love
think
that
that game is absolutely phenomenal. There is no way in hell I could actually beat it on the Famicom because there's no saves. Mm-hmm. Okay? But that game is phenomenal. It is incredibly hard. It is the the hardest Mario game there is.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. It was too hard for us stupid Americans. That was why we got that recycled piece of crap that they call Super Mario Brothers 2.
Which I'm the only one who likes
That
it.
game is garbage.
trash.
Have you ever played the original game, which I can't think of the name of?
Doki Doki Panic.
Doki Doki. Have you ever played Doki Doki Panic?
I've never played Doki Doki.
Okay, I've played it. I actually think I played it on the disc system. And
it's for the disc system, right?
I believe so. I don't know if it was the Famicom or the disc system, but either way, it's Famicom disc system.
Right.
I've played it. All they did was change the characters. The music is the same.
Yeah.
Everything. It is the biggest
legit a
piece
skin
of
swap.
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that game. They didn't change the music, and it pisses me off.
Yep.
But the true Super Mario Brothers 2, The Lost Levels, is one of the toughest games you'll ever play. It is incredibly unfair. It is just uncompromisingly cruel. Where the first mushroom you get is a death mushroom.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many kids would die there?
Yep.
A million times. It's a mass murder, just like that first little Goomba was in the first Mario Brothers.
Right,
yeah.
How many people ran into that thing? This game is so unforgiving. You'll find a warp zone, and it'll warp you back to the beginning of the game. This game is a nightmare, but I absolutely love it.
And we have that set up for another podcast too, talking about that game.
If that had been released in the States as Mario Brothers 2, what would it have done to the franchise? And it would have hurt.
Oh yeah,
Because that's Mario Madness right there.
Yeah,
That's the tagline.
That game, it'll punish you. It'll make you sick. When you beat it, though, it's the best feeling in the world because you never thought it would happen. And I've only beat it once. I will say that my list, I made the rule that I would only put games down that I'd beaten.
Mm-hmm.
So some things aren't on here that might make it otherwise. That game's so tough, dude.
There's 2 I have not beaten on this list.
I mean,
I couldn't get rid of them.
Yeah, I'm with you.
so my next game is one that I beat many, many times, and we already previewed that it was... No, it's not. I mean, I've also, you know.
Is it Burger Time?
No.
Is that on your list?
Why don't you wait and find out?
I'm sorry.
You pretentious tool.
I am a curious George.
Anyways, Tony Hawk Underground 2 is my pick for this, and I played it on the original Xbox. And me and my brother would literally spend days and days playing this game.
No arguments.
And we would play the custom soundtracks, and we would just listen to Green Day's American Idiot over and over playing that game.
Oh, Billy.
Because, now the reason why I love that game
favorite punk
is you have the World Destruction Tour, whatever
Yeah.
it's called, with Bam Margera, who was a big part of me growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jackass. I still love CKY. Brian can hate all
I
he
hate
wants.
Bam, but I love the rest of Jackass.
So,
I can't even say a bad word about you picking that game.
right,
I get it.
It's like it's like the Jackass game that we should have gotten, because I mean the Jackass game is trash.
I totally forgot it had the
Beyond.
game.
Oh yeah, the music's great, but the game
I
is
probably
so
got
bad.
it. Take it home.
I don't want to.
I bought it day one.
Wow. AJ
Bro,
said in line and GameStop.
I like Bam. I do.
I love
I
Bam.
think he's hilarious.
Yeah,
I think he takes... Like, Johnny takes it on the chin. Steve takes it on the chin. Dunn took it on the chin. Bam took it on the shoulder and cried.
I know.
yeah, but Bam's been like emotionally crippled the last 6 years.
I'm
and he's
talking
just-
when he was doing
I know.
Jackass.
I know,
I'm
but
not
even
saying he's the
think about
bravest.
this. If any one of us were on Jackass, we would be Bam.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll agree on that.
Yeah.
If not worse than Bam, okay?
Right.
We'd be Preston, you know?
I would be Preston.
Fat joke. Let's see how this is going.
Wasn't a fat joke.
I thought
fat.
we were welcome here.
No, but we would be Preston because Preston can't take anything.
No.
That's true.
Okay, but
what would Preston do?
we would want to be Bam, but in reality, we'd be Preston.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I get Bam, I get that, and I get Tony.
And that game is just fantastic.
Yeah, it is a good game. That could have easily been in place in my Tony Hawk Pro Skater. It really could
I
have.
love that game so
I
much.
don't know why I like the Tony Hawk games.
I love
good.
Those up to like American Wasteland is great. And
Yeah,
then
you
after
know,
that, it's,
All right, I will give Bam credit on one thing. First Jackass movie, him taking, they were doing the Fat Bastards or whatever, Fat Guys
Fat
skateboard.
fucks.
Yeah,
Fat fucks.
yeah. And his skateboard comes up underneath him and just jaws him.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they don't show any fallout. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. I'm so glad he's back to skateboarding.
I'll give him that.
I saw the video of that, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So again, I don't think either of you guys have played this. This is from my favorite game developer.
This is fun for us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but comedy is something I love.
Who invited this nerd?
Shut up.
Start our own.
I would.
Blackjack and hookers.
I love comedy, and no game has ever made me smile more than Battle Block Theater.
Oh, I have played that.
You played Battle Block
I
Theater?
played it with you.
Oh, did you?
Because you made me watch the buckle your pants and
Yeah. That is the ending theme of that game. Buckle your pants.
it's
Never played it. Never even heard of it.
It's super silly.
What
it's
system?
very funny. 360
Yeah, it's
and PS3.
downloadable.
It's downloader.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a physical
it's not
copy.
physical.
I wouldn't have heard of it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's a puzzle platformer, probably top 5 puzzle platformers that's been put out, like, that are traditional 2D ones in the last 5 years. But Behemoth constantly put out just good done games every time, because they did Castle Crashers, Alien Homid's kind of hit or miss depending on who you are.
I like Alien Homid.
And they have, I think it's called Mudmid. It's their new one, which is it's like a strategy game. But they knock it out of the park. Will Stamper, who's the voice actor and like the announcer for the whole game, is hysterical. And that game, I can watch all the cutscenes from it all the time, and they just make me laugh.
I don't think I can name a comedy game. Oh wait, no. I can, and this could have been on my list now that I thought of it.
Bard's Tale, yeah.
Nope. Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh, I love that game.
That game is awesome. I'm sorry, I'm
That
taking
show
over what
is
you said.
That's
amazing.
fine.
There's a bug in
This
there.
is how podcasts work, man.
Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch. Yeah, I'm not a comedy game guy, because I couldn't even think of one until that popped in my head. But that's the only one I can think of, unless you count Sneak King.
No.
I had to bring it up. I was just waiting for some time.
You
All right, my next
If
game.
you need to laugh, just watch the cutscenes. You don't even have to play the game. That game is just great to
What's it
laugh
called
at.
again?
Battle Block Theater.
All right, give me a second. My next game has already been hashed over. It's Super Mario Brothers 3.
All right.
Super
good.
I can talk about it.
super good.
So when Miyamoto developed this game, no, go ahead.
I
Freddie.
believe that was Tezuka.
Me and Freddie came up with this right after the Wizard, and go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, the Wizard is loosely based on John's early years.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
So that I didn't own video games. Go ahead.
You didn't need to. You were that good.
I know.
Right. He just rents them and beats them and then puts them back.
That's right. I don't even put them back. I'm a rebel.
He's got rental
He
fees
had
for
to tell Dottie
Blockbuster that
that
would
so
blow
many
your mind.
times.
My next game, Brian spoiled in the last 2 rounds ago, and that would be Burger Time,
Cool.
which we played a little bit earlier on our stream.
I get
The NES game is not the best version of it. Obviously, the arcade is where it's at, but the NES...
Did they make that for TurboGrafx too?
No.
TurboGrafx Burger
I
Time.
don't think so. If
No,
there
I
is...
keep talking. I'm looking.
Okay. Anyways, Burger Time is really good. It's kind of a comical thing of why I love it so much. Like, I used to play it as a kid on the NES with my grandma. But also the fact that I spent 11 years at Burger King makes it hilarious that I love this game. But
I can see that.
I'm still on the hunt to try and get the Data East Classics for the Wii, because it's the only way you can play the sequel to it, which is Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory.
Let's see.
Yeah, I get the Burger Time. I mean, it's...
Every time I find an arcade cabinet of it, I have to play it.
No, they made it for Intellivision, Atari, 2600, ColecoVision, Game Boy, and then there's a game called The Flintstones, Burger Time, and Bedrock for the Game Boy Color.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
It's worth hundreds now. We mentioned it on the internet.
We're inflating game prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
get me
started.
Don't get me started on the other podcast.
Anyways,
I'll cuss him out, and I hope he hears it.
Yeah. Burger Time, it's solid. It's arcadey goodness. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely a classic arcade.
Oh, I'm thinking of Bonks. Sorry. I was thinking of Bonks came out on Turbo.
Yeah.
Fox did.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But yeah, Burger Time is one of my favorites.
It's not a bad game. I'm just bad at
You
it.
were bad at it.
I know.
Those little bean people catch you all the
They're
time.
sausages!
You're right. They are beans.
They are not beans!
I can admit when I am bad at a good game, and I am bad at a good game.
You know why they're beans? Because if you put them on the sandwich, they become chili cheeseburgers.
But
He had no comeback. You all heard it.
No, he did. It was.
you didn't let me finish.
He doesn't like chili cheeseburgers.
All right.
I can't have beans.
No, it's true. We can't have beans right now. Oh well.
I can.
Shut up, John.
Final Fantasy X. Yet again, I'm just gonna get the eye rolls from it. Whatever.
Yep.
It was like the first
At least it's not
bigger
7.
story game I got to play. It was like my
13.
first cinematic experience because I was a PS2 kid. I really like it. I could just go back and play it at any time.
Personally,
And I
for
enjoy
me,
it.
I have never liked the Final Fantasy series.
Same.
I hear it has the best music.
which is terrible. Like, I don't like
If you like
Final Fantasy.
orchestral,
And that's the thing. I'm not a fan.
yeah, you won't. Not easy.
So we had an employee make us a mixed CD of video game music to play in the store. There's actually like 7 mixed CDs.
Does it have Careless Whisper on there too?
No, I wish.
Oh.
But
The Steelers version, right?
was that by Wham? Yes,
It's
it is.
by Wham.
Is
yeah,
it Wham or was it just George Michael?
it's Wham.
It was
It's
a Wham?
Wham,
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was after he split. But anyways, and half of the music on there was Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. And I told him, like, listen, I'm sure this is beautiful music, but this is not the type of music you want to be playing over the speakers.
No.
Because it's putting me to sleep. And Final Fantasy, you said 10, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've played a little bit.
The game does have flaws, but as I said, one of its redeeming factors. It gets you into the story and into like the combat system
Is
real
that for
quick.
3?
Huh?
No, it's 2.
Okay.
Two. Yeah.
He just said PS2 kid.
And just to let you guys know, I know we're already an hour in,
Yeah.
but before we do our number ones, we have our number 1 most hated game as well.
Do we?
Yeah, I
Why
told
was
you.
I not told of this?
I did tell you.
Okay.
All right, you just have to think.
I guess I
We're
have
going to
to
say
do some
Madden 03.
Of course.
All right, but it's back to John.
Back to me. Number 5 on my list was Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal game, and I'm playing it on the PS1. I'm not talking about the remastered because I'm terrible at the remastered because it's so hard. But on the PS1, Wrath of Cortex, I mean, the first one was okay, but Wrath of Cortex really brought it home.
That one's on my list.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, that game brought it home.
That was
I
the
mean,
first one I ever played.
It's so good, though.
I went 2, then 3, then 1, and I'm like, man, 1's really hard.
One, I just didn't like 1, and I think I actually played 2 first as well.
2 is amazing.
2 was just so phenomenal.
When you get to jump on that dog and get all the extra lives, that's just the best.
There's not a bad level in the game. I mean, surprisingly, and I can even games like we'll go back to Mario 3. I can tell you games that or levels I hate in that game.
Right.
I can't think of one that I don't enjoy playing on Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex.
Yeah.
The first one, I think, going back and playing it after you play the second one, because I think that's what I did too.
Yeah.
You don't have your power slam. You don't have a lot of the things that you did.
Yep.
Graphics are a little bit off from the second one because they really Naughty Dog really stepped their game up for the second one.
I was like, they had a real short time in development. I think from 2 to 3, but
but 3 was still solid.
Yeah, Warped is really good too.
Warped was really good. I mean, it was solid.
Introduces a lot of vehicles
And I've played the remastered version. You guys have seen me stream the remastered version, and it's I consider myself a pro on the PS1.
Yeah.
On the remastered, I'm a noob.
Yeah.
It is so different.
Yeah.
It is so incredible.
It's good. It's really good.
It's good, and the graphics look amazing.
Yeah.
But they changed it just enough that it's hard.
And it's noticeable.
It's very noticeable to me. So that's my number 5, Wrath of Cortex.
I was say I can't really say too much about Crash. Really.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very good game.
Well, here's the thing. I've never gotten to play a lot of Crash.
No.
I just didn't have it growing up or anything. It's always something I wanted to dive into, but
My dad's second wife had a PlayStation, so that
thanks,
was what I
stepmom. Thanks, second stepmom.
played. Yeah, well,
You're always there for us. You're like
now she's
when.
not, so.
Oh well, jeez, bring the mood down, AJ.
So my next game is another arcade game. It's the pinnacle of the arcade games, and that would be Pac-Man.
I thought you were gonna say Crazy Taxi.
Wow, I'm
I do
surprised,
love
yeah.
Crazy Taxi, but
Pac-Man, I get that, dude.
Pac-Man, any console that I played Pac-Man on, like the first time I remember playing Pac-Man was at my uncle's house on Christmas, playing it on the Atari 2600, and I was like, man, this is really cool. And like my great-great-grandma was amazing at Pac-Man, like ridiculously good at Pac-Man on the
so
2600.
funny.
I know.
That's so funny.
I know.
I
Like my
can't
great-grandma
fault you.
was a Frogger wizard. Like, it's just crazy.
Oh my god, how do these games not make? I had Frogger for PS1. That could have made
Dude,
the
yes.
list.
I love that.
That could have made the list. 'Cause
But-
that's nostalgia.
Yeah. I love everything about
Pac-Man,
Pac-Man.
dude.
Pac-Man, I can play Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, both are great. I like Ms. Pac-Man because it's a little faster, but you gotta go with the original.
I've actually got a marquee off of an arcade for Puck-Man.
Yes.
Which, I don't know if you know the story behind that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not going
Thanks,
to tell
Scott
things.
Pilgrim.
It takes time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have the Puck-Man marquee off an arcade.
That's awesome.
Actually, I had the Puckman arcade, but it was in a new cab, and they just transferred. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But yeah, Pac-Man, you can't say anything bad about because he kind of started it all.
Yeah.
In a way.
And
it's
that's another one where I have to play it every time I see it.
Yeah, it's iconic.
I'm going to do something positive on this podcast rather than shitting on what everyone does. So, I've known you've loved Pac-Man for years. So much so that I started up this big whole thing for a long time that was #FuckPacman.
Just sorry.
And it's great because one of our first Twitch viewers also was Pac-Man's dad or something. He was talking about he's got this like weird whiny kid who's just an asshole. But I'm going to officially retire the #FuckPacman.
Nice.
Are you happy, buddy? Because you came here and you helped me with this.
Anticlimactic. I thought he got you a gift or something.
I know.
I've gotten him Pac-Man stuff.
He bought me a Pac-Man arcade machine.
No, John did that. I got you the glass.
Boy,
Because I did get you a Pac-Man glass.
That's true. That color change.
You know what? I actually want a Pac-Man tabletop.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be fun.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
I might know
pricey,
someone.
dude. They are
I might know
pricey.
someone in Tennessee when we take that trip.
Okay. They
That
are
we
so
should go
pricey.
see.
They
Yep.
are so pricey.
All right, so I'm at my favorite game franchise all time, and this is a Game Boy Advance game. My Game Boy, yeah, I
Got a lot of handhelds.
yeah. So my Game Boy, one night we went to a little diner called Friendly's. Some people know about them, some don't. I left my Game Boy with my Pokemon in the back
Good.
of our car, and we come out, it's missing.
Even better.
I was like, I don't remember, I was like 9 or something. And someone had just stolen my Game Boy, stolen my Pokemon Yellow, and I was just heartbroken. Like, I didn't want to go to school or anything. And parents came to me, they're like, well, there's this new thing coming out called the Game Boy Advance. Do you want that? I was like, yes.
EBA.
Yes, I want it. They're like, in the meantime, this was like, it was still a year out. They're like, well, do you want like this Game Gear to hold you off? And I was like, no, I just want a Game Boy Advance.
That was a good choice.
See, Sega, I knew.
That was a good choice.
But yeah, I was just like, no, I just want a Game Boy Advance. That's what I want. And it came out. It wasn't my birthday, but that was going to be my birthday gift that year. I'm like, well, and the guy is like, well, you need to pick out a game too, which I think frustrated my dad. Like, damn it. But I was like, well, which ones are there? And there was, I think there was a Mario, but it was Super Mario Brothers 2. That was the American version.
Yeah.
But he was like, well,
garbage.
the best game on it right now is Castlevania Circle of the
I
Moon.
just knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
I thought he was going for another Pokemon game.
Nope, it's Castlevania.
Yeah.
I love Pokemon,
Yeah.
but there's even going back past that, there's a Tiger handheld I played growing up of Castlevania 2. It's terrible, but I love it.
Tiger.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't put that on here.
I knew Castlevania would make it on your list. I wasn't sure where or when.
Or what one?
Yeah.
Or what one. You know this about me. I'm not a Castlevania fan.
Yeah.
A lot of the big franchises everyone loves, I don't. So
Yeah, Castlevania, going around killing occult stuff, I've always liked demons and junk like that. They're so different than anything else designed by, like, there's just something interesting about them. I've always liked drawing monsters and things like that, and that hit that itch. It's decent platformer, so there's that. The music's fun. The bosses are usually so much bigger than you. And, like, one of the bosses in that game are these twin zombie dragons that you have to fight at the same time, and they take up so much screen space, and you just feel so small and insignificant, and when you beat them, you just feel good, and that's what Castlevania is. It's tight controls and these great feelings of accomplishment when you get something done that you're like, it's impossible, you can't do it. Mm-hmm. And there's a little card system in that game that gives you different special abilities and junk, and it's not it's not like it's a hated Castlevania, but it's not talked about a lot. Everything's Symphony of the Night, but
Black Label.
But yeah.
Yeah, I
Circle
can't
of the
speak
Moon.
intelligently on Castlevania just because
me
I don't
either.
like the series.
I haven't played enough of it.
I played it and I was not taken in by it. Usually a game can catch my attention quickly if I'm going to like it or not, and that was not one of them.
My top 4, I think you'll be able to talk about all of them.
Not good. My top 4, or my number 4, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to say it and I want you guys to move on. Can we make that deal?
Sure.
Make that deal.
Okay.
Junior Jeopardy, go.
How can we not talk about
You
it?
made a deal and it's recorded. You made a deal. Now go next.
All right. I'll respect the deal for now.
AJ, what's your next one?
My next one is Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Okay.
I love Grand Theft Auto 3 was the first one I
2,
played.
right?
Yeah, PS2.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3 was the first one I played. Vice City was the one I really fell in love with, just because I love the 80s theme. The 80s music in it is great. Just everything about Vice City I love.
That game did make me hate
There
Welcome
was
to the
a
Jungle,
dad that came in here yesterday.
Yeah.
His kid was probably 8 or 9, and his kid said, "My dad used to let me play Grand Theft Auto all the time because I didn't understand what it was all about. I just thought I could drive the cars around." I'm like, "No, that whole game's beating up hookers."
Yeah.
Like,
My dad let me beat
but he
hookers
doesn't.
up in the
He
video
won't
game.
let him play it now that he's a little bit older because he understands what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's funny. Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto.
I love Vice City.
Rob just bought that the other day and was talking about he couldn't put it down.
Yeah, Rob just bought that.
Oh, yeah, he bought San Andreas too. San Andreas.
That's right. He did buy
Yeah.
2 of them.
San Andreas is the one he's been playing today.
I never got into Grand Theft Auto. It's not. I have nothing against them. I just never got into it. I haven't actually taken the time to sit down and play through one of them all the way. I've played them, obviously, because I have to.
They're fun, but that's another one you...
Vice City is... I'd say Vice City is pinnacle.
Okay. I might try it. I've got enough.
Pinnacle of that series. If you just want to be a horrible person,
Yeah.
that's what that game's
And
for.
that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when I test it,
I'm just gonna grab a cart and I'm gonna hit a hooker.
because that's the one where you start off where you have to jump on the bike, right?
No, I think that's 4. No, the bicycle. Yeah,
Yeah, the bicycle.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then
Yeah.
I
thought
always
you were
just
talking
go
about
steal a
motorcycle.
car real quick and run over
Yeah.
people for a
Yeah,
while
yeah,
to
yeah.
test it. So,
I can't. I have been so long since I played Vice City.
all right. What's your number 3 or 4? You're number 4.
Oh, it's you, AJ.
I just did Vice City.
Oh, I was thinking that was John for some reason. Sorry, my brain's messing with me.
You want a knife?
My number 4 is a number 4, actually, though. And it comes back to playing video games with my aunt, who had a Super Nintendo that I absolutely fell in love with. Can you guess it, John? 'Cause he's thinking about it.
Is it Castlevania 4?
It's not Castlevania 4. I didn't get play that until I was an adult.
4th game in a series?
4th game in a series. Had 3 games on the Nintendo.
Oh, Mario.
No.
Oh.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Jeez, Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time.
Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Talk about
yeah.
the perfect beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even argue that.
Yeah, good music.
I mean,
good,
I'm
good
not a
look.
Turtles guy again.
Yeah.
Man, I've said that about like every game listed. I'm not a Turtles guy.
Yeah.
But that is a good game.
Yeah.
It's just it's straight up solid.
This is another one where I can say I am bad at a good game.
And that 4-player arcade.
Yeah, that arcade
Yeah.
cabinet's the
It's
bomb.
amazing.
But yeah, Turtles in Time.
Turtles
Just,
in
Hyperstone Heist is not even comparable to that game, so don't even
Because
bring
it's
it up.
Genesis. I mean, are you kidding me?
But people try to do it all the time.
People are wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I'll get professional here. I do video games for a living. This is my profession, and Sega sucks.
That is very.
You heard it here, folks. John Minot, man in the industry, says Sega
End
sucks.
of story. Okay. Number 3 for me, I'm sure made your list. Maybe yours. Super Mario World.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think... I know that probably is actually number 3 for me.
Really?
It's high.
It's good. I love that
That
game.
game is... It's kind of like Mario 3. You can never get sick of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no such thing. I love every level on that game. Well, yeah. I love every level on that game. People are trying to come in still. It's like 8 o'clock. Anyways, every level on that game is phenomenal. My last trip to Japan, I downloaded it for my 3DS, and it's a long flight. So I beat it 3 times 100% sitting there in a row. I love that game so much.
Right.
That's why Super Mario Brothers 3 is not on my list. Super Mario World. Like a lot of my top 5, Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and and even some of the stuff people have done with mods on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There are some really cool ones out there, and I'm not a huge fan of modding, but some of the ones they've done, oh my god!
Mario.
Oh, do you?
I'd said you had one of the
cart version.
one of the asshole
So we
Marios.
should play that.
I was gonna bring it.
We should stream that one time. That's
Yeah,
good.
we'll do that. We'll
I
bring
mean,
that up.
But the Super Mario World, I just there's not another game that I can think of that's quite like it.
It's on my list, so I don't want to.
And that Bowser Castle theme.
Yes. And it's one of those games where you can beat it in 20 minutes or you can play it for 5 hours.
Yep.
Just depends on how you want to play it, but I digress. On to AJ.
So my number 3, which I would probably put at number 3, is a number 3, and that would be Fallout 3.
I hear that. I hear you.
Okay, so I bought Fallout 3 on a buy 2 get 1 special at GameStop when I first got my 360, and I had never heard of it, anything like that. And the salesman's like, I was like, I needed an extra game because that might be a free one, and I bought 2 new releases. And he's like, oh yeah, you should try Fallout 3. We just got this in, and it's used, and it will count, and it's really good. It's like, he said it was Oblivion with guns. Which, I mean, obviously, it's Bethesda. But I've never really played Oblivion. And I was like, okay, well, I trusted this dude because, I had bought from BJ a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I played it, and man, it is just such a great story. The story's great. The levels are great. The decisions you make affect the whole game. You can be as good as you want. You can be as bad as you want. I just love it. Game. Yeah, like the first time there's one decision you get to make, which greatly affects the rest of the game.
Since you don't know,
So your
I don't want to spoil it.
Matter.
Oh yeah,
there's one in particular.
I know, like
huge.
the Walking Dead games. It doesn't matter what you do; it's the same outcome.
Yeah, the Telltale.
That's why I hate.
No, this is completely. There's so many different endings for it.
See, you keep telling me to play it, and I keep saying I will.
You need to. I
haven't
haven't played the DLC.
You tell me to play Vegas.
New Vegas was going to be on my list.
And I keep meaning to, and I actually took the PS3 home.
Yeah.
I didn't take the game though.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I hate Bethesda's first-person control one like that. Whereas I love their Doom, but Fallout is
keep telling me to buy it or play it, and I just keep meaning to.
Yeah, they're interesting. That is the best compliment I can give them. As I have, there are things I really like in those series of games. But I just get hung up on how VATS usually. I'm not a fan of VATS.
I love VATS.
I feel like it takes a lot of the challenge out of the game.
I get you.
It's kind of like a D&D role, though. You got percentages.
It is, and I love Dungeons and Dragons.
I know. That's why I'm trying to sell you on it.
That's not a plus for me.
What?
It's like D&D.
It's not. It's not tabletop.
It's just like
but the percent
there is a. Here's what it is. There's basically a zoom-in system where you can, like, I'm going to try and aim here this many times, and you'll get that many shots in, like, a slow-mo thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You can choose to use it, or you can choose not to.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I think Vegas, a lot of people say you have to use VATS.
I don't think so.
But
either way. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, what do you got?
Number 3. This is my last non-Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
And I think you've played it, John. I don't know if AJ has. And, what do you think when you hear the word muff?
Muff?
Muff.
This is a PG podcast, John.
This for what it stands for, it is. Because this isn't a dirty thing.
Is it Metroid?
It is not Metroid.
I don't know.
Muff. I think of earmuffs. Sorry.
No.
What about
this is a military.
Military?
No clue.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It basically is an anagram for basically weapons of mass destruction having gone missing. And I'm talking about Metal Gear Solid.
Okay. Yep. I gotcha.
Metal Gear Solid is one of the few stealth games I thought was done amazingly.
And I have played Metal Gear Solid.
I thought you meant it was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Snake is a hard ass.
That's why I was like, Nintendo wouldn't use Muff.
Muff. That is literally... They say it in the game, and it's my favorite part of this whole game. His operator's basically like, yes, we're looking for Muff. And Snape's just like, Muff.
It's an anagram, kind of like Fubar.
I never played. I have the game, but I've never played through.
Metal Gear Solid 1 It's really good.
I don't know
But
if
I
I've
used to
played. I don't know if
play-
I've beat it, but I have played it
I
quite a bit,
used
and
to
it is a
play.
good game.
It was on a demo disc I used to have, and I played. The
Don't you miss demo discs?
all the time? Yeah,
I miss demo.
I think it was a Pizza Hut demo disc.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
But I mean that game is cutscene heavy.
Yeah.
and you can choose to skip the cutscenes because like the last one's like almost an hour.
right.
Yeah,
And that's what
cutscenes
that's
are
what that
most hated thing in a
thing
video
is.
game.
You're not a very cinematic gamer.
No, I'm not. I want to get through the game. Even like in Breath of the Wild, I don't think I ever watched a single one of the cutscenes. I skipped every one of them. Mm-hmm. They annoy me.
Yeah, but Metal Gear Solid is kind of like how John says. You can play it and it's a 12-hour game, or you can do the speed run, get rid of all the cutscenes and junk, and it's a 3-hour game.
But, you know, even games I say that on, the reason it makes my list is because I don't want to beat it in 20 minutes. I want to play it for 10 hours, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I can listen to that story over and over.
Yeah. All right, my number 2. This can be number 1. This is one of the most phenomenal games I've ever played. For the NES, Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
I was going to say Friday the 13th, but whatever.
No, absolutely. And, you know, it is extremely challenging. Tough to beat as a kid, if you beat it. I know my dad played it for 4 years when he was in the military. He never beat it. Because this game, it is a grinder game. You've got to grind it out to beat this, to find everything you need and figure out where stuff is. That the final fight against Ganon, I mean, you just have to experiment on how to beat him until you finally figure it out that you need the silver arrows. You know what I mean? It is a grinding game, and I love it. I mean, I honestly, I will sit down and play that any day of the week. I've had that on every Nintendo system I've ever had. I've downloaded it. Well, except Super, you know what I mean. But
the Legend of Zelda harkens back to like the Legends of Zeldas I like. I like the first one. I like the Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds.
Yeah. I would say Link to the Past is probably my favorite.
see, I wasn't a fan of Link to the Past. I really wasn't.
But in terms of actual gameplay,
oh, I get
that's
that.
yeah.
Yeah, the only 2 Zeldas I've ever liked were the first one and the last one, which is weird. I know. I mean, you know, people are going to scream Ocarina or Wind Waker. I don't care. I don't like them.
Wind Waker's pretty, but
It's pretty, but that's about it. But yeah, the first one, just ungodly difficult. It really is. I mean, if you think of it. And then the second quest, after you beat the first quest, dear God. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm noticing the trend that you like masochistic games.
Yeah, it's very tough.
that's why he wants to do Brutal Mario.
I do.
We
It's
should do
fun.
Kaizo. Oh, that's
I'd be
tragic.
in for that. Yeah, I just...
that
Yeah,
game
but
broke
Legend of
Gerard.
Zelda, so...
All right, so my number 2 is a Super Nintendo game, and it would actually probably be number 2, and that would be Donkey Kong Country.
which I can't believe didn't make my
I'm
list.
shocked it didn't make
Well,
the
actually,
list.
the second one.
My last 2 games
Well,
have
see,
been
mine's
said.
going to be the first one because like I said, I played games at my grandma's house with my family, every family event. And
Is it
Donkey
because
Kong
David
Country,
Wise is dreamy?
Dude, David Wise, that soundtrack is a masterpiece. Aquatic Ambiance is my
know it.
favorite song in a video game ever.
It's beautiful.
It's just masterpiece. Just a masterpiece. But also, the minecart levels are my favorites.
I love the
the
Minecart
first-
Madness. Are you kidding me?
Minecart Madness, I can play.
I still don't
all
get
the
that there
time.
are people who hate those levels. Like, how?
What?
They're so fun.
That
Those
is so
are-
easy.
yeah.
Not even easy. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find myself going back and just playing that. Though.
Oh, yeah, totally.
All the time.
Totally.
Like, the Donkey Kong Country, that's my number 1. I'm just going to spoil it because my last 2 have been said. Super Mario World and Donkey
That's
Kong
my number
Country.
1.
Yeah. So,
I'm the only one with a surprise left.
Ooh.
But you guys know what it
Yeah, I was gonna
is.
say,
but
it's
we
not
have
a
to do
surprise.
our most hated.
That's true. Yeah, Donkey Kong very easily could be on my list. The second one, though, is my favorite of the series.
I do enjoy the second one.
I hate
Two's
the
good.
third one, though. Third one's
No,
awful.
third one's trash.
I've never played third one.
Oh, you don't
one's
want
trash.
to. It's not even worth playing.
The
I
second
want to
one-
try
the
it
second
just
one
to
is still really-
understand how bad it is.
The second one is still really good because Dixie is...
It's a whole other game, man.
Dixie adds a lot of gameplay to it. Plus,
But,
the music is still incredible.
The music is really
3, you get that baby, and it's just
good. It's
like,
like they're...
it's a burden.
Yeah.
I don't know what that thing is. I hate him.
Yeah, there's
Mongo.
there's not a game that brings a genuine warmth and smile and happiness to
Yeah.
me more than Donkey Kong Country.
It's iconic. It really is. I mean, if Nintendo didn't have Mario, Donkey Kong would
Yeah.
be just as easily put into their.
And I mean,
this is our main
technically,
thing.
they're kind of combined.
Well, they
'cause
did
well,
start
Donkey
together.
Kong, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that might be interesting to think about when it comes back to if Mario 2 had come out. Who takes Mario's place? It's that man.
No,
It
it's
is
definitely
DK.
not. DK, I mean, Rare killed it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rare killed it.
Yeah, there's
The new people who had made the last two.
Retro Studios, which is
Yeah.
mostly Rare
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
well,
two are
it's
great.
just Rare.
And I
rebranded.
heard,
basically.
I heard there's rumor that there's a Donkey Kong being made for Switch, and I hope it's true.
I'm sure there is.
And even if if they remastered the first 3 games on Switch,
I
that'd
would
be
shit.
great.
yeah, that would be just
I'd
phenomenal.
shut the store down for a week just to play it.
Right. It'd be like when Fallout 4 came out, I legit took a week vacation for it.
I used to call off every time a new DLC came out for Call of Duty Black Ops.
I did that for Madden. Madden was
I've
legit my holiday.
I've never gotten to do that stuff, and I
Like
want
when
to do it at some
CNC
point.
Games used to get Madden like a week early, and they would sell it early.
Well, yeah, they broke Street Day.
Yeah.
That's half the reason. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into that. That's something we're not
Bad
doing.
stores are another podcast.
I like the owners. I like the 2 over there. I did not like the BG location, but that's on whole
I've
other.
only
Yeah.
been at the BG, so
Yeah, the owners are good people. They
Right.
are. They do good work.
I'm basically spent on my picks. So John, you have the
Yeah.
number 2 still?
now he's on number 1.
I'm on number 1
So
now.
go ahead.
All right. So
Number
no.
Oh.
We have our most hated.
Oh, okay. We'll sleep then.
All right, John.
Oh Lord.
Rip into it.
There's 2 things that I could say. The first one would just say Sega. But that's going to be tough because there are 1 or 2 games that are not horrible. Splatterhouse
I love Splatterhouse.
is a good game.
But it's also on the Turbo Graphics.
That's true. And that surprisingly a game that I liked was, I don't remember which one, it's a fishing game for the Dreamcast. And just because
Yes,
I liked the
Sega
Sega
Bass
Bass
Fishing.
Fishing.
I liked the controller.
Yes.
But the most hated game for me, which is hilarious considering my number 1, is BioShock Infinite. That game is the biggest pile of cow shit, excrement, cow flop I have ever played in my entire life. If I saw the developer who made that game walking down the street, I'd punch them in the face.
And that's so weird because everyone I know, like from when I worked at Whirlpool, loved BioShock Infinite, and I found out like the story about it. And I was like, "That's not that great."
It's not BioShock. It's not BioShock. It is nothing like BioShock. I love BioShock, okay? I was so excited when I found out the 3rd one was coming out. I got it opening, your drop night. I got it. Took it home, put it in. It's not BioShock. And, a lot of it, if it had been released as a game other than BioShock Infinite, if they just called, this is a game called Infinite, might not be a bad game. But the letdown value for me, expecting a BioShock game and getting that piece of shit, makes that the worst game I have ever played in my entire life. And I have played every game pretty much ever made, unfortunately.
All right, AJ.
I played E.T. on Atari, okay? And Infinite's
You-
worse.
you-
Go
You're
ahead.
still need a little bit of
I
time
still
because
have not completely confirmed my decision.
It's probably Infinite.
so.
I've never played a BioShock. I know. You haven't played Fallout. Don't give me that look.
All right. Speaking of Splatterhouse,
Oh, really?
this is not the Genesis version. It's not the TurboGrafx version.
He's going for
It is
the
the
remake. I
PS3
knew it.
360 Splatterhouse remake. That is just fucking trash. Oh, my god!
It's bad.
Have you ever played God of War and like, oh, this is interesting, you sit around there, let's do that, but take away all the fun, and let's put the Hulk in there, but he's not intimidating and gets beat up by chairs. Let's have the collectibles be nude pictures of his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. That'll really sell the kids on this. Mm-hmm. Oh my... So I didn't even buy this like day one or anything like that. This was like a used pickup. Like, I might have been a buy two, get one free thing. And I was like, I'll finally the Splatterhouse. We'll try it. Never have I ever felt so ripped off for a free goddamn game. I hated it so much. I was doing the first level. It's in like that haunted house bullshit, right?
Yep.
And it's like, cool, I'm Hulk, I've got this dumb looking ski mask on, I've got a stick. Let's go. And
I trust me, I know your pain. It is a shitty
it's
I think
and there's a cult following for it now.
game. There shouldn't be.
those people.
Hopefully it's a suicide cult.
Wow.
You can leave that in.
Yeah, I might, because it's true. That game is bad.
It's
people who no, it's actually it's really.
Let me add that to my list.
It's a really good game.
Splatterhouse. Let me
It's
go
2010
get
Splatterhouse.
It's bad.
It's horrible, and people who think it's a good game, honestly, don't breed.
I'll give AJ a little bit more time, and I'll add to my Infinite discussion. That game was so bad. Not only did I not finish it, I broke it in half and threw it out.
Did you seriously?
Yes. That's how much I disliked it. And I hate the fact that I own a copy of it again because I got the remastered for the PS4. But it's never been played.
Yeah.
I played the first two, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I broke it in half and threw it away. I would have burned it if it hadn't been raining.
I literally, I think I was working on playing through Bioshock 1. We talked about this because you basically will say your number one's Bioshock.
Oh, absolutely. My number one favorite game is Bioshock. That game was... There is nothing bad about that game. You can play it for days and days and days and never get bored and always find something new to do. And, yes, the final boss is not that difficult.
No.
If you're playing on Expert, he's difficult. Okay?
I haven't done the Expert run before.
But that game, and your choices do matter in that game. You have choices whether or not to save or harvest Little Sisters. And they don't make a huge difference. There are different endings depending on what you do. Mm-hmm. But, if you choose to save them all, you get a lot of bonuses.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are like, well, I get more Atom if I do this. Yeah, but
you get
those
more
care
Atom
packages.
So, yeah, but the Atom, you get more Atom, and you can buy more plasmids, and you can buy more upgrades and stuff. And that's all well and good. But the care packages, it makes up for it if you don't.
Yeah.
And I've played it through both ways multiple times, because it is my favorite game, so I've played that game through probably 25 times. And I'm still playing it as we speak. I've got it on the PS4 right now.
To add to reasons I think Bioshock Infinite is bad. One, Bioshock 1, Big Daddies are amazing, and depending on what you're trying to do in that game, great risk-reward factor on whether or not you want to fight them.
You don't have to.
And you don't. Whereas...
You can run through that game quickly. I think I looked it up. I think the speed run on that's like 40 minutes.
Yeah. But you don't have to fight them. You can... But in Infinite, here's all these super souped up enemies, and what do they give you? You get a gun that has 100 rounds. That's really lame.
Swinging through the clouds and drinking beer. I mean, the stupidest game... Oh.
He's...
Anyways.
Yeah.
Bioshock is my number one game. It could easily be swapped out with Legend of Zelda or even maybe Super Mario World. But Bioshock, I think I play the most out of any game on my list because I have played it and beat it for every system it's come out on multiple times.
Yeah,
and I keep rebuying it, and I'm not a fan of rebuying a game that I have for another system. I keep rebuying it.
Yeah, Bioshock is...
I'll do it again on Xbox One X. I'll do it if somehow it gets ported to the Switch. I'll buy it for the Switch.
Hey, man, they're porting all kinds of junk to the Switch now, considering they're getting, what is it, the Detective...
L.A. Noire.
L.A. Noire is coming to the Switch. That's amazing.
Yep,
but,
game, if you have AJ, you haven't played it, take a copy off my shelf. Take it home.
You don't have one.
Okay,
they're sold out because it's that good.
I'll bring one in from home. I don't care. Which system do you want it for?
I mean, I have them all. So.
Okay, I'll bring it in. I'll bring it in for television.
And talk about one of the few games that had a last generation recognizable character with the Big Daddies.
Yes. Oh, and there's surprises and twists and turns. There's all sorts of crap going on in that game.
Is that your wife?
Yeah, she's back. She's gonna go through the back door though.
All right. But
or no, she's coming in the front.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think that's honestly. Well,
He's
AJ has to do his worst.
Okay, so my worst, I'm gonna go with Sonic 06. I know it's a very popular opinion.
Pretty awful.
I mean, just because I can't think of anything else that I hate really bad. But, I mean, Superman 64 would also be up there, just because I owned it when I was a kid. I owned it when I was a kid. I got it from Blockbuster used for like $4, and I still overpaid.
I don't think it's something to brag about when you beat Superman 64.
No, it's not.
Well, do you want to know where my memory went? I lost it all in that game.
I hate that game. But yes,
that's where all my patience
You know
went.
my opinions on Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic in general you hate, but Sonic 06 is so broken.
It makes me feel good to think that one of your favorite games is Sonic, but also one of your most hated games is Sonic, because that actually shows that you have some intelligence.
Yeah.
Thanks. I mean, my number one game is Super Mario World, so
That game is so good.
I played it so many times, and it's another, like you said, buying it on every console that it comes out for is a must.
I love that game. I hook that game up half the time when I'm sitting here bored.
Right. When I get the Super Nintendo 3DS, like, at the end of the month, I'm gonna download Super Mario World.
So that was one of the discussions we had. This is a little side tangent talking about Super Mario World. We were talking about an opening theme for the show, like a song or something, like an intro. And I think we all love Super Mario World enough. There's one song I think we all love enough in that game.
Thriller.
Not Thriller.
Yes.
It's the Bowser Castle theme is amazing.
Bowser Castle theme is phenomenal.
And maybe that will be our theme song.
That'd be fine by me. I love that game. God, I want to play it now. We have to do a live stream of that.
No, we
need to do a 100% run on it.
Yeah,
it's gonna take us.
I'm not good at it anymore. It's been years since I played it frequently, but
I had a 3DS. Got traded in. I took it home, and then I realized that it wasn't a new 3DS, so I couldn't get Super Nintendo games on it.
And you threw it away. The end.
So I sold it, and I got a new 3DS just so I could download Super Mario World.
Yeah.
And Donkey Kong, actually. I have like 3 games that I downloaded for Super Nintendo. It's Donkey Kong Country 2, Super Mario World, and Donkey Kong Country.
All right. Well, we're almost at the 2-hour mark, and
forever.
but it was good.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of fun.
I kind of expected this to be done in like 20 minutes.
Oh no, I did not at all. I knew like once we got talking, John's a talker. We're all talkers.
Yeah. And you just picked some horrible games, so we had to give you shit.
You know what, John?
All right. So this is Brian,
AJ,
and John,
and John,
starring John.
Sorry, John.
Goodbye and good night.